Okay, this first video I'm going to outline the chord lines and space them out against the meter. And the next video, which is probably the way I prefer to do it, is to do the same thing relative to the melody or the lead guitar lines, and then piggyback the meter that we're doing in this video and using it just as a subordinate way of correcting your timing if you need to. Okay, so but we first need to establish the changes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to have that in front of me there because of making mistakes. So intro, chord line is A minor D, A minor D. Okay, spaced out, playing on the ticks. So it's just counting in tick tock 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 tock. Is that it? Yeah. Two. That's essentially 1 4-bar line in 1 4-bar intro. And the thing is as well, it's in fours, tick tock tock tock, being the grouping for the bar. But if we just use the meter to space the chords out to give us a strong sense of the distance between the chords, i.e. what the fancy term being the harmonic rhythm, means you end up, instead of saying tick tock tock tock, you strum over you don't say anything for the strum, and then you say the beats with their ticks or tocks between strums. So it's like, instead of going tick tock 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 tick tock, you go tock 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 tock. And the thing is that you're using your own human ability to feel that three grouping as a natural thing to space your chord strums. I know when we put rhythm over it, everything changes, but essentially you've got to get to know the periodicity, the distances and the time distances between the chord changes. So it's going to be, I'll give you just a kind of approximate speed of the record. So tick, tock, 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 and then we're into the next, I think. Yeah, I think we're into the, I'm pretty sure we're into the, let me just check that. Yeah, I'll use the arrangement that I've got. So now, I shot this video a minute ago and deleted it because I thought, even though the next video is going to deal with the melody, you still, if you're approaching it from this perspective, just the amount of tocks between chord strums, you still want some notion of the melody. So I will do as a preface to the next video for each part here, I'll do the melody line, which is essentially the lead guitar line. So it goes do 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 do, just so you can hear within the context of this idea of using the bar, sitting it on top of simple bar divisions, the relationship between the melody. Okay, so that's the first part. Verse, then I'll do the counting first, and then I'll put the melody right at the end of this section. So it's the verse is a 4-line verse, and each line is 4 bars long. So it'll go, it goes A minor D, A minor, A minor. And with this weird thing, I'll just interject here. This is the D that we played in the intro. But if you want to, when we start to put the melody, interweave the melody into this chord progression, you need to practice playing the D with your little finger there. So you put in an F sharp on the bottom of the chord, just the top 4 strings. Yeah. So this goes tick tock 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 tock. Line 1. Repeat line 1. Tock 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 tock. End of line 2. Start of line 3. Change upper 4th to D minor. Tock 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 tock. Then repeat line 1 and 2. Repeat what was line 1 or 2. A minor D, A minor, A minor. So tock tock, 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 tock. Sorry, miss me tock off the end. I'm not going to talk anything because at this point it's a simple line of, so let's just take the first line, A minor, D, A minor, A minor, right? There's no differentiation between those four chords. They're just spaced out, they're strung out along the meter or the pulse, and are spaced out by the meter. So, but the thing is, in this chord line, and then the last A minor, that last A minor, as you'll see when we start to look at the melody, plays a different role in terms of the structure of the song or the structure of the verse than the A minor, D, A minor, the first three chords. So you've got this, and then we've got the last A minor, which is a different role, which you need to be aware of when you play it. Anyway, so on top of that verse, this is the melody. I've got to get me notes. Down, down. Yeah, okay, so it goes down, 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 down. Okay, and there's a clue there. Once you hear the melody over the top of each chord line, there's a clue to what I was just alluding to, which is the roles of the chords within the line. In terms of, it's nothing fancy, but we'll get to it. So, moving on to the bridge. Again, the chord line is F, 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 A minor, A minor. But we need to space that out. So it's tick, tock, 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 F, tock, 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 F, tock, 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 tock. Okay. Voicing little guide. You can play this as I've done it in the class inside four strings, just the inside and damp off the outside strings. I'd suggest you use the opportunity to start hooking your thumb over, rather than playing the full bar chord. If you can do that already, fine. But if you're in the between, getting your bar chords down, this little thumb coming over the top there to bring the bass note in anchors the song a bit more well. So anyway, just a little bit of advice. And then we got those two lines, which I'm calling this part I'm calling the bridge. I'll sing the melody for you. So it's tick tock tock tock. Oh, sorry, we need two F's. So it's tick tock tock tock. And that's what it is. Then the chorus, which I'm calling the chorus, these parts are you could call them completely different things but let's use familiar terms and just agree on that. Hopefully you'll agree with me to apply the same things. This part. So the chorus, it's a strange because it's a three-line chorus in the way that we're structuring it. First chord line, the chord lines are slightly different. I'll give you the chord lines, but this is slightly different because the timing, the harmonic rhythm, isn't all set to a consistent strumming on the ticks. There's one little wrinkle in this. So, but the chord line itself for the chorus, there's two chord lines. There's one that goes F, G, C, A minor, which is repeated twice, first line and third line, and then the line that those two lines sandwich is just, you lose the A minor, so it's just F, G, C, and then an extra C. Okay. timings and other things, but let's do the line first. I'll play it for you then, see. Again, if you can get it with your ear, rather than me describe what the timing is, it's better to do it that way. So it's going to go tick tock 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 tock. No, to be fair, let's do it that way. Okay. Now let's do it again for you. So it goes tick tock 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 tock. My talks are a bit weird there because I should have said a tick, but I'm not going to go over that because this is where it's better to break the rules, because all we're using the meter for is when we can we'll use the ticks as signposts for timing, but here what's fundamentally happening, let me play you, is that we're bringing the A minor forward in that first line, we're bringing it forward to create a syncopation. Let's play you as if they was let's play you as if the line was already on all the tocks. So it goes tick tock 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 tock, and I'll do another one. So that's enough. So you can hear the consistent spacing of that. I'll play that again, and then I'll play the one where the A minor is brought forward closer to the previous chord, the C. So it's the simple spaced one goes tick tock 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 tock. Then they're brought forward tock 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 tock. Okay, don't pay any attention to anything that comes after the A minor, because I can time it when I'm playing it, but saying one thing and trying to it's there's some mistakes there anyway. So the purpose is that throws your timing out. This is, you're gonna have to practice this, So, but you notice the way to if you need extra guidance, it goes tock. So the FG still got tock tock, so he's spaced out with 3 tocks. So he goes tock 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 tock. Now the tock 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 after that we need to deal with in a minute, and I'll work it out for you. But you notice how this C, instead of being tock tock tock, goes tock, because it's been brought forward 2 beats. I mean, that's the way you see it on a piece of paper, and this is the way one of the ways you could describe it in just pure musical language. But if you just feel the rhythm and you listen to the record enough, what will happen is the process is that as you listen to the record, but you're focusing on at least feeling the chords as they change and not being drawn to the melody. What you try to do is feel that chord that appears in an unfamiliar place, and then just learn to respond to that unfamiliar place until it becomes embedded into the entire line. Because this is the way that a non-musician would do it, and you've got more apparatus that allows you to do that inside your ear and your musical brain than you have to learn a whole set of musical rules to learn how to do it on paper. So all you do is listen to the record till when you hear this section and it goes tock tock tock, and you're not surprised by that A minor. And if you're not surprised by it, you'll be able to respond and play it. This is essentially the purpose of listening to the songs over and over again, because you're building them. You can either play off a piece of paper. The song sheet is a model of the song that you can follow. That's just the way to look at a song sheet. You either have it on the paper or you have it in your head. But the model in your head will always have more complexity and always make you a better player than trying to follow it off a piece of paper. So that's the reason for doing repetitions. A lot of lines you don't need to focus on, but this line can be tricky if you're overthinking it. But if your ear will naturally find out the spaces. So let's do that again. So and the space at the end of the line, because now we're bringing the A minor forward, You've got to. I can. After a while, you'll. By the time it takes you to get the A, to feel the position of the A minor relative to the C, you'll have also learnt the distance, the extended distance from when the A minor goes to the end of that line and the start of the next line, which is, again, see, it gets more complicated to describe verbally, but if I demonstrate it with sounds, you'll see. So it goes. Sorry, so it goes. Talk, 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 tick. So I can't break this. You might get a few versions of this now. So do it a bit slower. Talk, 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 talk. I still can't get that tick. I did it once in my head while I was talking earlier. It should go. It should go. Talk, talk, tick, talk, talk, talk. But I would strongly urge you not trying to learn that. I'll do it again. Yes, so I'll do it embedded in the thing. And this is a point where I'm giving you. Why do you think? Well, my breaking, making such emphasis on bar lines, and then saying that when we get something difficult, don't use that to analyse and work out to teach your hand how to play it. And it needs to be married with the other idea, with the melody in a bit. So let's see if I can get it. So he goes. I have to rehearse my verbal stuff. So he goes, but not my fingers. So he goes. Okay. Talk, 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 tick, talk, 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 tick, talk, talk, talk. Okay, I'll put line 1 and 2 together. The weird thing is because you put that syncopated, you pull the A minor forward and it becomes what's a syncopation. It's really, really hard to keep track of the ticks and tocks. And if I struggle with it, you're definitely going to struggle with it. But I don't need to keep track of them. Because as you're listening to the record, you should be able to feel that distance, that hop. Essentially, because you bring the A minor to halfway through that bar instead of at the start of the next bar. You've just got a bar and a half. But part of your ability, increasing your ability, is to feel that distance without having to count it. And the trick is because you need the other line butted up against it, which happens on the record. So, like I say, there's 2 aspects to being surprised. Like when you listen to the record in this line, that's your first thing, being surprised. But then the next thing is when the next F comes, you've got to then stay in receptive mode, not switched on, but you've got to be receptive so that your ear can feel that distance between the A minor and then when the next F comes at the start of the next line. And that's kind of what you're trying to do by doing repetitions and listening. You can't verbalise it, you can't turn it into a set of rules that you can talk through. You have to keep listening to it till it's embedded inside your ear. This is unfortunately all the verbalisation, all the rules that you can, and the instructions you can tell yourself to play an A minor here and then count so far and then play an A minor. You can't. It's so much easier and much more fun to just keep listening to the record till you can feel that. And of course, you can use. I would just use tocks. And then I wouldn't bother with ticks, because essentially you just want a distance. It's not important anymore about where the start of the 4th bar is in the line. It's important to know where the first bar is in the next line. So you switch to the pulse and just go tock, 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 tock till you hear the F chord. And then you can count those number of tocks, and that might help you. So again, let me demonstrate. So it's going to go tock, 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 tick, tock, tock, tock. That's the hard way, right? Now, if I just don't put ticks, I just put tocks. I can focus on how many tocs there are after the A minor and use that as a little measure, distance measure, how far I've got to go to the F. But the point is, you would never count it in a song, ever. You'd only be counting it while you're listening to the record and doing the read-throughs, and maybe while you're just feeling your way through the lines and getting them under your fingers. By the time you're playing the song, you should just know where that F is. You should be knowing where the start of the line is because of the amount of repetitions you've done. And it can be a lot if you're not experienced at this. If you're not experienced at this, I'm talking 100 listen tos easily. If you this is something I learned well before I learned to play the guitar from singing in school choirs and stuff when I was 7 and 8. If that stuff never came out at you, it was never taught me, but it's just something. So if this stuff it's all new. I've got like 55 years of experience in certain way, and if you don't have that experience, just knuckle down and just do the listens. So without bothering about the position of the tick for the last bar in this line and just playing tocs, it'll go like this. It will go toc, 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 toc. I'll just stop there. So you can go back and replay that, but I'll do it one more time, and then I'll after you've done it, you review how many tocs there were. I can tell you there'll be 6. So it goes. I didn't count it, but I know there's got to be 6 because it's a bar and a half. So it goes. And so if you know the strum comes halfway through a bar, you know there's got to be 6 tocs. So you say your tocs without knowing, and then you review it and count them up and go, yeah, that was 6. So it goes. Toc, 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 toc. And that was toc, toc, toc. I only did 5. She said toc, 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 toc. It's a bit weird. It doesn't sound right. Okay, let's try it again. Toc, 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 toc. Oh, of course, it's 5 tocs because the A minor is your first toc. But you're not counting it. So after you've strummed the next toc, counting the A minor, it's 6 tocs, but counting the space, it's 5 tocs. And again, you see, my instincts are such that I just did 5. I said 5 tocs and strummed because I know where the F is. The tocs are just dividing the space up. I already know where the F is. I mean, I hope you enjoy that. It's not so much a mistake; it's just a mistake in the description of it. I'll do it one last time so you can see. So 5 tocs in the space that the 2 chords bookend. So toc, 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 toc. I'm not even going to go into that second line yet. I'm doing something weird anyway, but yeah. So the one other thing about this is like, what I try and make is get you to be fluid in your thinking, because if you make a mistake there, but you still get the F in the right position for the start of the next line, but you make a mistake, and you can quite rightly hold me up on making mistakes, especially in the class. But it can be an error, but if it's in time, it just produces an interesting wrinkle about the way you play the rhythm to Apache as you start to put rhythm into it all. Because these fixed points for the chord changes have an influence on the way you strum later on. So the fact is that you might end up being a bit vague there. The only problem is if you can't find the start of the next line on the F. Being vague from the end of the A minor, in that vagueness about what's going on in that space, because you see, if you can play the A minor and you can play the F in the right places, what happens in between if you mark out something there that you think is on a tick and it's somewhere else, it'll just sound interesting. It'll just make the song interesting. There's this area of vagueness when you play that you kind of learn from and embed into your own style, you know. But like I say, you know, it's tricky to kind of to get this stuff in a format that's simple. If I keep making slight errors in what I'm not playing, what I'm saying I'm playing, and I can't, and because I'm describing something. What I'm describing is correct, and what I'm playing is correct, but the description doesn't match it. So let's just go back and I'll just play. This is only supposed to be that all that instruction. Hopefully, is going to be useful for some of you. But all it's really saying to you is listen to the song until you can predict where everything is just by listening to it, and you will be able to. And for reasons which I'm going to go into about, which is something we haven't touched on, which is the rhythm of language, because what we're going to do in the next video is talk about use the melody, but there's no language in this song. And the rhythm of the language is another thing as well, which we'll get onto next session hopefully. So let's just hear with the ticks and the tocks, because this is essentially what this video is supposed to be without all that explanation. Is it strips away all the rest of the instrumentation so you can hear clearly what the guitar does, and so you can hopefully then hear what the guitar does on the record. So for the bridge section, it's going to go tick tock 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 shoo tock 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 tock. Okay, and then it goes to the next section in the song, which strange enough goes back to the bridge section, which we did, the F and A minor, but we're not doing the arrangement here. It was just outlining the three parts, and that because this video is going to have gone longer because of that, so because of the stuff I've just been talking about in the chorus. So there's your four parts. You've got intro. Just outline these at the end. So you've got intro, A minor D, A minor D. Verse is A minor D. That's your line twice. Then into D minor G. Then A minor D. Then your bridge, which is at that speed, it doesn't really sound like the record. You do that line twice, and then your chorus is what we've just done, which is the jumping into the A minor, long gap. Then you go, and then you can put the C there as a space. You know, your last bar on the tick, and then third line. So there's only four parts in the song, and the arrangement is the order of which we play those parts, which we'll go into some of the strategies in the next session about getting the arrangement together. It's mostly just repeated listening, unfortunately. Okay, that'll do for that.